Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be laying out my predictions for the real estate market here in Airdrie, Alberta in 2022. So if you're looking forward to next December in 2022, looking back at this video and seeing if I was right or wrong, if you could do me a favor and scroll down, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm to let more people see this video, and be sure to comment down below because I want to know if you agree, if you disagree, if you think my predictions are reasonable, or if you just think I'm an idiot. So comment below, I'd love to hear your thoughts, but right now let's just get into it. Well, it was a crazy year in real estate in 2021 from Airdrie to Alberta, throughout Canada and around the world. We did see some markets get extremely hot, and speaking of some of those ones here in Canada, Toronto, for example, with all their price increases, was actually just labeled the second worst in the world for risk factor of a bubble bursting. And you'll also find on that list that Vancouver is number 6th on that list. So we do have a couple cities here in Canada that are definitely at a higher risk of things slowing down next year, but Airdrie, I don't think is one of those cities. The reason that I say that is because since our last peak market in Airdrie in 2014, our prices dipped down a bit and then came back up, and we're actually right now just sitting about 3% higher than we were back in 2014. So we haven't really exploded like some of these other markets have, where you see in Toronto, they're around a 30% increase in prices just in the last year, let alone the last 7. So just by looking at those numbers, you can kind of see that we're in a lot less of a bubble situation than you see at some of these other cities in Canada like Vancouver and Toronto. And even though we saw about 15% growth in our prices this year, I still think there's a lot of room left to grow. We have a lot of people right now moving out of those hotter markets in BC and Ontario, moving into Alberta just because it is a lot more affordable to buy a home and to live here than it is in those areas right now. And in recent years past, we've seen about 12% of new immigrants come to Alberta. I think we're going to see that number growing in the next few years, just with that renewed optimism of our economy and also our affordability. All right, well, let's just jump right into some predictions. The first one we're going to be talking about is interest rates. So your mortgage interest rate, and there's no question that interest rates have been extremely low for the last couple of years. Many people getting interest rates below 2%, which is absolutely incredible. So there's no secret that those are likely going up next year. Just depends on how much. Right now, for a 5-year fixed mortgage, you're kind of looking in that mid 2% range for that mortgage, somewhere a bit less than that, some a bit more. I think by the end of 2022, we're going to be at more like 3% for a 5-year fixed mortgage. Now, compared to a year ago when you could get one for 1.5%, that's twice the interest rate, but it's still extremely low historically, so we shouldn't have anything to worry about, I don't think, in terms of interest rate increases. Obviously, if you get in while they're lower, the better, but if you end up with a 3% rate or anything like that, still not the end of the world. All right, now for overall sales here in Airdrie. So this year, 2021, we broke our all-time sales record on September 1st of this year. That means that the last 3 months and 29 days of the year were all in all-time high territory. So we absolutely exploded our all-time high sales number here in Airdrie. Now, we don't have our December data yet, but I expect that we're going to end up somewhere around 2,300 sales for the year, which puts us about 24% higher than our previous all-time high for sales. That was 1,695. My prediction for sales next year in 2022 is that we're going to have about 2,500 sales here in Airdrie next year. That's going to be a little bit higher than this year. I think the activity is going to stay very strong throughout the year, but keep in mind also that Airdrie is a growing city, so as the city grows, we naturally do have more sales. So it's a little bit due to the market and a little bit just due to the size of Airdrie growing as well. All right, now moving on. I do have one prediction based on one certain style of home for 2022, and that is condos. The condo market has been one that hasn't really picked up with the rest of the styles over the last couple of years. It's been one that's lagged behind, and in Airdrie, we've been pretty even in terms of prices for condos over the last couple of years. They've gone up a little bit, they've gone down a little bit, but overall they've stayed fairly flat, and that's while all the other styles, detached, semi-detached, and row homes, have all seen double-digit increases year over year. Now, one stat that hasn't really been talked about here in 2021 is the number of sales of condos that we've seen in Airdrie. The sales for condos year over year are up 92% right now. So we're seeing almost double the amount of condo sales this year than we saw last year. And that's compared to the rest of the market increasing their sales by about 67% year over year. So we've seen a lot more sales in condos than previous years, but we haven't seen those prices go up at all. And that's been due to just the amount of condo listings that we've had come to market and that were on the market for people to purchase. So though our sales went up, our inventory was also high, so those prices don't need to go up for those to sell. But where we're at in the market right now is that I think we've seen a lot of those sellers who had to sell, even though their price was down, sell at this point. And now who's left are the condo owners who didn't need to sell when the prices were low, were able to hang on to the place. Either they stayed in it, rented it out, whatever that might look like for them. But these are the owners that didn't need to sell and they've been holding on for that market to come back up. I think we're getting a lot more of those in the marketplace right now. So I expect our condo inventory to go down throughout next year and therefore bring our prices back up a little bit for condos. So I'm predicting for next year, our condo market here in Airdrie is going to increase their prices by about 8% by the end of the year. All right, now we're going to move on to the one that a lot of people are probably watching this video for, and that is my prediction for prices in 2022. Now, you know my prediction on condos, so what is it for the rest of those styles, detached, semi-detached, and row homes in 2022? Now, based on the forecast for the economy here in Alberta for next year, I don't think we're going to see things slow down in 2022. In some other markets around Canada, we saw 30 to 40% increases year over year. So in those areas, I can definitely see things slowing down a bit, but I don't think we're going to see that here in Airdrie. I think we're set up to see another 15% price increase in 2022 for our detached and semi-detached markets. And I think the row homes might lag behind just a little bit, so I'm predicting a 12% increase for prices on those townhouses, those row homes for 2022. All right, and now for the last prediction I'm going to make in this video, and that's going to be the comparison between Calgary and Airdrie's prices next year. Now, this year in 2021, we saw Calgary lag behind each of those styles of homes by a couple percent through the year. I think we're going to see the exact same thing next year, so I think we're going to see good growth in Calgary, but I think it's going to be a couple percentage points behind Airdrie in terms of price growth in 2022. So with that said, I'm going to predict a year-over-year price increase for Calgary, an overall price increase of about 9% next year. All right, well, that's all I have for predictions for 2022. Definitely stay tuned to the channel so that you can find out next December how these predictions came out, if I was right, if I was wrong, if I was close, if I was way off. We won't know until next year, but I'm looking forward to finding out. And like I said before, scroll down, like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. And also just comment your thoughts on what you think the market's going to do next year. Do you think things are going to go up, go down, stay flat? What do you think they're going to do next year here in Airdrie? And as always, if you're looking to make a move to or from or within Airdrie, I am a local realtor here in the city, and I'd absolutely love to help any of your real estate needs. All of my contact information is down below, as well as links to my website and all that stuff. So please reach out. I'd love to hear from you, even if you just have some questions about the market and you're not looking to do anything. But for now, that's all I have. My name is Brad Walker, and we'll see you later.